What up, YouTube? I hope all is well. Today I'm going to be talking about sacrifice and what that really is. Now today's video is going to be a little bit different than like most of mine, because this isn't going to be like rehearsed or like planned out on what I'm going to say. All this is impromptu. I'm at school right now actually, and I mean as usual, as you've seen, but I'm so happy, man. Like they had like this book sale going on, and I bought all these books. But yeah, man. Alright, let's talk about sacrifice. Most people are unsuccessful. As if it wasn't obvious, right? Now the reason why, and there is many reasons, but the biggest reason, if I must say, is that we're weak, dude. Like, for the majority, we're weak. Like, we can't say no to instant pleasure for the majority, right? And what I mean by instant pleasure, you probably heard this before. It's called, also known as instant gratification. I have a cough drop in my mouth because I'm a little sick. But yeah, instant gratification. That thing is killing us, man. This is why the ability to sacrifice is so important, man. Because just think about it logically, right? All these instant pleasures now are gonna bring long-term pain, which people don't even think about the long-term. Which, I mean, that's pretty sad, dude. Every action you take should have a long-term goal, should it not? I mean, because if we're all just doing is living for the now, what about in 10 years from now? You're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, oh man, that's where I screwed up, right? But if you sacrifice now for a better pleasure in the long term, it's a whole life changer, man. That's what separates success from not success. And I mean, most people are trained from a very young age to just get all the fun and pleasure they can at that very moment in time. So it's kind of like predictable that this would happen. But this is what separates you and me, my friend. Just by the fact that you're watching this video really says something about you. It says that you want to be a better person, right? Or else you wouldn't be watching it. It says that you want the advantage. You want to have that edge over your competitors. Am I wrong? Probably not. Now, when you think about the long term, you gotta ask yourself, what are you willing to give up to get what you most desire, right? Like, for example, at one point in my life, I was fairly chunky. A lot of my friends know that. And I was like, dude, enough of this, dude. I want to look like I mean, I see the world differently now, but at that time I was like, dude, I want to look like a porn star. And I said to myself, I'm gonna get there no matter what it takes. No matter how hard it is, no matter how many times I fall down, I'm gonna get back up and do it. No matter what, nothing will stop me. And it got to the point where I reached my goal. And this is funny. I knew I reached my goal when this girl that I had like sexual relations with, she told me I looked like a Greek god. I don't know if you ever seen a Greek god, but they're pretty shredded. Oh man. But there's a lot of things I had to give up to get to where I'm at right now. You can't continue to do the things you're doing and expect a different result, right? Think about it. Let's be logical here. If you continue to do average things, aren't you going to continue to get average results? But now let's look at the other scenario, right? You do extraordinary actions, you're going to get extraordinary results, right? And ultimately, dude, that's what everybody cares about. They only care about results. And the results stand out a lot because most people don't have them. Most people just continue to do average things, man. This is why me and you, we're gonna have different futures, man. Like, just look around. I don't know. There's not that many people here, but I'll let this finish. Sacrifice has a lot to do with one of the keys that I had in my last video, right? And you gotta really define what you really want in life. It could be in the short term, or it can be in 10 years from now, as in long term. But what's really important is that you gotta make that decision, man. You gotta really decide, I'm gonna get this no matter what. No matter how hard it is, no matter what I have to do, I'm gonna find out and I'm gonna go get that. There's gonna be a lot of sacrifices for sure, because you don't have it for a reason, right? You don't have it because you haven't put in the work to get it. That's like with anything, a six-pack, money, a level of achievement in another area of life, it doesn't matter. You would have it if you did what was required to get it. You feel me? It's the law of cause and effect. You do something, you get an effect. You put in the work, you get a result. So if you want extraordinary results, you gotta be able and willing to put in an extraordinary amount of effort to get those results. Otherwise, you'd never get them. And the hardest part, dude, if I might say so myself, is getting started. Because at first, like, you're probably like, oh, I want to get this, right? Whatever that is, right? And you just start thinking of all the reasons why you're going to fail, all the reasons why you can't, and why it's going to be really hard and all this. And that stops most people, right? They fail already with their mindset. They're already limited. But you and me, we're gonna do it, man. Like, whatever it is. Let's say you want a whole bunch of money, right? You want to get this really high-paying job. I don't care too much about employment. Most people do, though. So let's say you want that high-paying job that gives a lot of money, right? First, my recommendation for you is to find out all the requirements, like I mentioned in my last video, right? List them down. Actually take the time and write them. This will help you a lot. It's crazy how much people don't take advice, dude. Like, you give them advice that guaranteed will help them, and they just don't take it. But going back to it, right? You make that list, then you just resolve within yourself that you're gonna do it no matter what. And in 5 years, guess what? You're gonna be able to reflect back, look at that very moment when you made that true decision that you're not gonna stop no matter what, and you're gonna thank God. You're gonna be like, that was the moment that defined who I am. But it all comes from sacrifice, man. Without sacrifice, we wouldn't have anything. Just think about it logically. If we don't sacrifice the little short-term pleasures like a cheeseburger or a hot dog or ice cream every day or like whatever it is, what's that? You're gonna get the same average result that everybody else who's doing the same thing as you are getting, right? And people say life isn't fair. I happen to agree and disagree, and I'll explain why. Life isn't fair for the fact that some people are born rich, right? They're born and their parents are billionaires, millionaires. They don't have to work ever, right? That's not. And then some people are born straight into poverty, living in the ghettos, not having anything to eat, right? Now, that part of life isn't fair. The part of life that I believe is fair, dude, someone's blowing up my phone right now, but nonetheless, the part of life that is fair, and I will argue with anyone with this, is that you reap what you sow. It says it in the Bible. I don't know if you know what that means though. You reap what you sow. Let's say I'm a farmer, right? And I sow just 10 apple seeds in the ground, right? And I water them and I put in the work to make sure they're taken care of. Now in like 10 years, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna reap what I sowed, right? There's gonna be a tree. There's gonna be some fruit even. And that's like with anything. You're gonna see the fruit of your labor. You put in countless hours of hard work. You're gonna be able to get the fruit later. Yeah, you're gonna have to give up some stuff. You're gonna have to stop doing a few bad habits that you keep, right? But ultimately, long term, when you're reaping what you sowed, you're gonna be so grateful, man. And it's gonna be a lasting pleasure. It's not gonna be instant to the point where it's like, oh, I just finished eating this. Now it's like, oh, where'd it go? The pleasure's gone. Now I feel guilty. I just gained an extra layer of fat, right? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. People just don't share my mentality. But I know by watching this video, it shows me that me and you, we're very similar. Very similar. Now, let me give you an example, a real life example of what I've experienced, right? With my six-pack scenario and outcome, because that was something that I did reap very well. But I sowed in a lot of hard work. I would go to the gym, like there was a point in my life where I worked out 2 times a day, every day, right? It just shows how bad you want it. And I gave up a whole bunch of cheeseburgers, that's for sure. But I got something that most people who just indulge in cheeseburgers every day will never have, and that's a six-pack. Now, that six-pack is not going to leave me once I finish eating. It's going to stay there for a while, as long as I take care of it. But that's just one example of reaping and sowing. Now, you can also see this with all these millionaires, all these billionaires. They put in a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. They gave up a lot of stuff. But ultimately, look at the things they're reaping. It's so profound and so more awesome, if I may say so myself, than anything average people can get, because they just continue to do average things. Share this video with your friends, alright? I want people to see this. The more people that learn, the greater the impact we can make here on earth, right? And I'm trying to help people. I want you personally, the viewer of this video, to also help people, right? I'm going to be posting videos every Tuesday and Thursday every week, okay? 2 videos a week. Now, the times may vary, but I'll try to have them up before 5 p.m. Alright? For real, share this video. Do your friends a favor. Do yourself a favor. Do me a favor. And as always, much love and peace.